And there it is, folks, our first pickup of the day for $9. Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. I was about to give up on this tiny video game section in this pawn shop, but for $9, looks like we'll be able to more than double our money on that bad boy. Nothing huge, but not a bad way to start. Have these not been priced yet, or?
No. Wow, folks, I just had a huge come up in there. They had these 4 games behind the counter, and he gave them to me for $5 a piece. I didn't even look it up. I just said, let's do the deal. So let's figure out whether this was actually a good deal. Stop number 1. Really coming through today. I'm currently on a journey from Kentucky all the way to Maryland, stopping at multiple pawn shops and video game stores along the way to try to pay my way there with flip profits. Now, I think this whole trip is going to cost me around $300, so that's my goal for the day. He did end up giving me this Sniper 2 for $7, so we're getting a $14 profit on that, which is a great start. But on the rest of these, let's go ahead and look them up live and see whether or not these were a good decision. I'm just using the Amazon seller app to look these things up here. Okay, yeah, looks like only $3 profit on this WWE Battlegrounds. I wasn't expecting a ton on that one, honestly. Red Dead Redemption 2 does have both discs in there, and I think it should be a little bit better for us. Oh, okay, actually, it's a little worse. Only $2 profit on this. Honestly, not something I normally would have picked up, but we've got a couple more here. Dang it. All right, so it looks like no better luck on this WWE 24. We're also only making $2 on this. I'm really hoping that this sealed Need for Speed Heat can save me. All right, and moment of truth here. Let's see. Okay, you know what? A $7 profit on this guy I can live with. Now, folks, I'll be honest with you. $28 out of $300, not the best start. But the good news is the gentleman at the pawn shop gave me a hot tip about this peddler's mall just a few minutes away, which apparently has a good number of video games at it. I'm here to investigate. The climax of this video, by the way, is going to be a video game store that has 4.9 stars on Google reviews. So I hit the owners up beforehand and they said that I'm good to go ahead and film in there. So we're gonna head in and see if we can maybe swing a bulk deal at the end of this road trip. Target acquired, folks. Looks like a video game bundle of some kind. Oh, dang it. Got excited there for a second. Not a whole lot I can do with empty cases, unfortunately. Ooh, but folks, we may have another shot here. A bunch of Super Nintendo games. These are likely picked over, but we got Ken Griffey Jr. We've got a bunch of sports games here, yikes. Although Tecmo Super Bowl is kind of a sleeper. It is a sports game, but it goes for around $20, I think, loose. Okay, so 13, not a bad deal, but not something that we'd be interested in. Really not seeing any games in these stacks that are terribly interesting. You guys can let me know if I missed something. There also, this is sort of like a miscellaneous pop culture booth with a bunch of like Magic cards, even some vintage Pokemon there. Just nothing that's terribly up my alley, so I guess the hunt continues. Oh, the other thing that pawn shop guy told me as I was checking out is he said, you have kind of retro Rick vibes. So naturally, I was very confused. I was like, who the heck is that guy? Ooh, and folks, speaking of pawn shop guy, it looks like we may have just stumbled upon the booth that he was talking about. This thing is chock full of tons of games, but boy, the average quality in this booth is not necessarily something I would write home about. I'm trying really hard to spot something that maybe we buy on quick flips or that might even do well on Amazon or something like that, but I mean, this stuff is rough. Actually, folks, you know what? I take it back. Tetris right here. That is one that we pay $12 for on Quick Flips, and looks like they have it for $5, so that's a really solid deal. Whoa. Dang, folks, I was just taking a spin around the store before leaving, and I stumbled upon, shout out to Phantom Games, has this huge game booth, but my favorite one is this one over here. Wow, this is like the mother load. And it looks like in the glass case and stuff, we do have at least some games that are in the like $10+ range, although not a ton of high dollar stuff. I'm gonna see if I can spy some profitable games here anyway, and while I do, I wanted to tell you guys about the best new way to buy new collection pieces, which is Encore. Interesting, I know there's some Lego Indiana Jones game that does go for some money, but it looks like this one's only worth $1.90. Encore Encore is a collectibles marketplace that makes it super easy to get great deals on really cool items for your collection. And again, it looks like this is an $8 game that only price charts for $7. The cool thing about Encore is you can buy things either in a buy it now or an auction format, but every single item has an actual video attached to it. So you don't have to worry about your nice looking copy of NFL 2K3 showing up at your doorstep and realizing, oh, it's busted. This next week on my Encore profile, I'm actually going to be selling some exclusive channel merch while supplies last, some Pokemon Poliwhirl version mystery Game Boy games. Okay, this is actually kind of interesting. So this is a $12 game that we would be able to profit $7 on. I'm not really concerned that the case has a ton of stickers and is a little bit torn up because we can replace these cases. But unfortunately, I can see from the sales rank, this thing would sell super slow on Amazon, which, come to think of it, is another thing that I wouldn't have to worry about if I was selling it on Encore, because every one of their auctions lasts between 1 and 7 days. Which, by the way, speaking of auctions, we're going to be auctioning off a ton of quality inventory through our Encore account next week. If you guys want to jump in on the action, definitely download Encore through the link in my description. It's going to be a blast. Thanks a bunch to Encore for sponsoring. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find anything at Phantom's booth back there, so unfortunately, I'm just going to grab my $7 Tetris profit here and peace out. And by the way, folks, what I didn't mention before is that today it is literally 7 degrees outside. Because apparently I don't really like taking video game road trips unless there are literal mountains of snow outside in the parking lot.
Let it go, let it go.
Meanwhile, this video is definitely not sponsored by Chipotle. This is literally the 3rd time this week I have eaten at this fast casual restaurant. And I just want to say, Chipotle, this is day number 98 of me giving you guys free advertising until you do decide to one day sponsor me. So please, for the love of this, sad, pathetic man-child, please, just give me a little bit of money, a little bit of free product, and I will love you forever. I will never stop. I'll rename my whole channel. This will be Phoenix Chipotle if you want. Just give me $3, please. Ugh. This might be a new low.
Well, folks, now that we have earned an incredible $35 in expected profit out of our $300, our next stop is, what is this? Gaming Paradise, which is the first actual video game store that I've been to. A big thing that will dictate our success here is whether or not they're negotiable at all on sticker prices. I've never been to this store here, haven't talked to the owners or anything, so this one's kind of a wild card. Oh, no way, it keeps going. Look at this. They weren't kidding, folks. This really is a gamer's paradise. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, look at this. This entire stack of games is just Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, and every single one is sealed. Oh, and look at this. Looks like they just got some shelves in. They're the exact same ones that I have in my basement. Gotta say, I'm liking this store more and more every moment. And the best part is I talked to Kyler, the manager, and he said that if I get at least a few $100s worth of games, he can probably do at least 10% off for me, which, if the prices are good here, could actually be pretty promising. Spider-Man is actually an interesting one. $40, that might be a little bit steep for me, honestly. Tetris Plus may be one of those little sleepers that does weirdly well on Amazon. One thing that people have been asking about recently is, dude, how has the Quick Flips expansion been going? Nope, I lied. This thing goes for a whopping $4 after fees. I think when we went from having a set buy list of games that were available to sell through Quick Flips to literally buying everything, like we have an offer now on every single game on this shelf, a lot of people were concerned that we would just end up getting drowned in disc-only copies of games and we wouldn't even know what to do with them. Oh, this is interesting. It looks like they also have a ton of sealed Rise to Honors. This is not a game that I'm super familiar with, but again, really cool to see just a whole stack of sealed copies. They've got them priced at $15 a piece, which doesn't seem bad. Okay, interesting. This is something you will sometimes run into on Amazon. You can see we would be able to net $18 on this game, but unfortunately, it looks like we are restricted from selling this product, so we would have to sell it in used condition, meaning, unfortunately, it's pretty unlikely that we'd be able to make any money on this game, even if we got them down to like 10 bucks a copy. And see, it's the same thing with these sealed PS2 games. He did let me know that they're selling them for $10.99 a piece, which we would be able to make really good money on, but unfortunately, a lot of Sony stuff you just can't sell in brand new condition on here. But anyways, while we have seen an increase in the number of disc-only games people have sold to us through quick flips, it hasn't been overwhelming, which is nice. And we've actually had a few people at this point sell us entire collections worth of stuff through myquickflips.com, which has just been like really cool and encouraging. Like last week, someone sold us a whole stack of PlayStation Vita games, which before we never would have gotten, but they still, you know, do really well for us. Looks like they're asking 28 bucks for NFL Street 3, and we could net 27 conservatively for it after fees on Amazon, but still, even after the 10% discount, you factor in taxes, that's pretty much a wash. Okay, you know what, this is starting to make sense here. I looked this one up, not just on Amazon, but also on Quick Flips to see the price charting value of, it looks like $27, and the price, $33. Now, if you guys have watched me at all, you know I am not a price shamer. Like, these small businesses have to do what they have to do to stay in stock with this stuff. So I don't actually have a problem if you're pricing stuff above price charting. It's just less likely that I'll probably be able to make a bulk deal. A great piece of business wisdom that I heard recently is, in business, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. And one of the trade-offs that video game stores have to make is, in general, you can either have a great selection or you can have great prices. It's very difficult to have both unless, for whatever reason, you're just really good at sourcing quality product, which in this business tends to be pretty tough. Which, by the way, if any of you guys are like, wait, what the heck is Quick Flips and why does the website now look way different than it does on your phone in this? Well, Quick Flips is our video game buyback website that makes it super easy to get fair, fast cash for your games. And the reason that it looks different is, since filming this video, we actually did a huge rebrand project to make the website just look and feel way better, more sophisticated, more professional. But folks, all hope for a deal is not lost. The last section that we have to check out in this store is the glass cases, which often have the most interesting games and items anyway. And I am seeing at least one thing that I think we'll be able to make a play on. So a decent number of Pokemon cartridges in here. Let's see on Crystal. Okay, that's a little out of our range. I think we're paying maybe $125 on that. I think we're paying $60-ish on Pokemon Red. Okay, just missed on that too, but I did see, check this out, a blue DSi, and I do believe we're paying either $65 or $70 for these, and there's not one, but two, ooh, another one, three, and then I think a couple of black ones back here. Holy cow, we may be able to clean out their DSi section. This is one of those handhelds that for some reason we get 90 to 100 for after fees on Amazon, so as long as they're in really good condition, we should be able to make a solid deal. I saw they had some SPs that are slightly out of range that, you know, depending on what we could work, maybe I think normally we pay like 80 to 85 for these, but again, they do have to be in really solid shape. All right, folks, so Gaming Paradise definitely came in clutch with the hookup. Ended up doing 20% off for me, which definitely helped, especially in that handheld section. So let me show you guys what we got. I thought it was just going to be 10% off, but I bet Kyler, the manager, probably just spotted the hairline here and gave me the receding discount. Felt bad for me. We have 3 different colors of DSi. These were the ones that were in solid shape. Oftentimes the touch screens on these will get pretty scratchy, so I was looking for the ones that had, you know, relatively scratch-free and also no like discoloring or things like that on the screens. Also picked up a burgundy DSi XL, a red Game Boy SP, and finally, oh, what was it? Oh, that's not good. I think we may be down a game. Okay, cool, crisis averted. The reason that I was panicking a little bit was because one of them was Chrono Trigger, which at $85, that's pretty close to market value, but 20% off. We should be able to do well with that on Amazon. And then last but not least, Pokemon Blue. This was the only one they had that had a working save battery, so I think we ended up paying like 55-ish, which is just about what we pay on Quick Flips anyway. Now the total expected profit on all that stuff is $190, which brings us up to $225. I'm feeling far more optimistic suddenly about hitting our goal today. What do you think, Polywhirl?
I think you have genital herpes.
Well, folks, a very short couple-hour drive later, and we have pulled up to Pre-Played Media in Buckhannon, West Virginia. You know how sometimes you'll pull up to a place and just get the sense that, man, This store has been around for a while. That's definitely the sense that I'm getting from this one. I'm excited to see what's inside. Anyone else have just like the invasive thought when they see these though to just, is this a bad idea? I just die on camera. Oh.
Now stick that icicle where the sun don't shine.
So right off the bat, their prices are seeming pretty reasonable, I would say. Seems like they're tied pretty closely to price charting. Like these Pokemon Silvers are like, I think 48 a piece. Although then again, there are 3 different prices on those copies of Pokemon White too, so I'm not sure what to make of that. Ooh, I thought I was onto something with this sealed Country Dance 2 for 15, but then I realized it's actually priced up relative to the other non-sealed copies, which normally isn't a great sign. And it looks like after fees, it would not be profitable on Amazon, although you can see this is an example of a sealed game that we actually do have approval to sell. Well, folks, I honestly haven't had a ton of luck scanning the rest of these shelves until I did just happen upon the Chronicles of Riddick. This is not one that I have bought super often in the past, but at 19 bucks, it looks like that'll be like a $15 profit on Amazon, so we definitely take those.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Now there was one other section that I was actually really curious about, which is this half-off games shelf here. The music's pretty loud, but it's a lot of sports games, but I feel like there may be a gem or two for 50%. Wait a second, what the heck? Like this right here, Super Mario World, if this is in good working condition, $10.50 for this is really solid. Yeah, it's like I thought, you can actually make $1 just literally quick flipping this, so not a ton of profit, but we do take those. And look at this, folks, we're on a roll here. Doom Eternal, 50% off, 20 bucks, and it gives us $21 after fees for more than a double up. Let's go. Oh boy, I really hope my car does not break down soon, because in this cold, I would perish in minutes. 3 games at this last stop here for a total of $27 profit, which I think brings us to $252, heading in to our finale stop, which I'm tentatively optimistic for. It's always hard when you're going places that you've never been before, but to give you guys your second Caleb business quote of the day.
Make it stop.
I heard another really good one a couple of weeks ago that was, in life,
Look at this idiot.
in Silicon Valley and in life,
He does not even remember his own words of wisdom. How pathetic.
the pessimists get to be right and the optimists get to be rich. So I'm gonna be optimistic about our stop tomorrow, and maybe we'll make some good money.
Let it go, let it go.
Oh, and folks, it is a lovely snowy day in Winchester, Virginia, and we are here at Back to the Media Games, our finale stop. And the good news about this one is I do know the owners, Mark and Danny, who are kind enough to, I think, give us a tour. Mark and Danny, thank you so much for having me out. I'll give you the NES Cart mic here.
Microphone, I like it.
How long have you guys been in this location?
We have been in this exact spot since 2020. And then we were actually in the walking mall down here since 2018.
Okay.
So, but our old spot was right across from where we're at right now, but it was about a quarter of the size of the spot.
And you guys have kind of an interesting hybrid video game store slash like CDs slash records model.
Yeah.
Can you, as you're giving me a quick spin around the store, can you talk to me about like how different kinds of media sell for you?
Basically, we have a store, kind of as you said, it's like we call it like a hybrid store where we sell all types of different media, from video games to comic books to vinyl records, CDs, cassette tapes are a good seller too.
Danny, talk to me about like the layout here. Is there a strategy behind like games in this corner, and it looks like it extends back to here? You got some cards over there, and then there's comics, and then there's records. Is there a method to the madness here, or?
Honestly, when people walk in, we want them to find something cool no matter where they're looking at. Because as soon as people walk in the store, it's like, what catches their eye first? Well, it's going to be
Right.
a wall of games.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to walk in and they're going to see the original Nintendo logo? Because it's a nostalgia store.
I love these signs too. These are
Yeah,
killer.
we had those made.
We had these all custom made, all the signage, and they've been with us a good while now, probably 8 or 9 years. And there's a little method to the madness. I tried to keep like the cartridge stuff that I guess could be easily kind of stolen. Kept it close to the counter, and then all the cases are just empty. We keep a filing system at the counter.
So all of your disc games are behind the counter.
Behind the counter,
You can't
yes.
keep them in here or else people will pocket them.
Yes.
I distracted you guys a little bit on our little mini tour
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
What other sections?
So we start with the video games over here. So we have Nintendo, GameCube, PS2, PS3, PlayStation 1 right here. We're running out of room in there. Yeah, I need more height to the case.
Yeah, like something on this.
Yeah,
on
and
this space.
I plan to do that this year. I'm going to buy one of those tower showcases and then possibly put some over on that side too.
Yeah,
So
you've even got some Pokemon cards here, it looks like.
We
Danny,
do.
how do these sell?
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
So as we go check out some of the records over here,
Sure.
I'm really curious to hear from both of you guys. Opening a shop like this is a dream for a lot of people. It's something really easy to glamorize, but
thank
like what do people not see about the day-to-day reality of running a record/video game store?
That's a good question.
That is a really good question.
I don't think a lot of people realize the amount of work it takes involved to get to this level. I mean, this has been 10 years now. When we first started the store, I worked another job for the first 6 years. Like, I didn't go full time in this until the last 4 years. And, there was
We
days
have
where...
to get to a point in our lives where we're like, can we take this leap? Because
Yeah,
this
you don't
is
want
our
to...
livelihood now.
Yeah, you don't want to like let go of what you're familiar with. If for anyone watching that's got a 9 to 5, I've been there.
When you run a brick and mortar like this, foot traffic is very important. You have to give people a reason to physically come into your store,
Yeah.
walk around and see what you have. So if you're not giving them anything good to look for, they're not going to come in. And how does a brick and mortar like this survive? Off of foot traffic.
Basically, you have to have discipline, and you have to get your location right if you're going to do this, and you got to basically be willing to sacrifice what it takes to get it to the point where it can sustain itself.
What are some of the coolest pieces that you have in this whole building?
As of right now, some of our stuff that's not for sale, I guess you could say, would be your vintage Donkey Kong up there, which always gets talked about a lot.
Yeah,
he's from like
this little
the
plush up here?
80s. Yeah, that's like the first Donkey Kong plush that I think they ever made. Yeah, that's super rare. And then they made a larger one, which we have down on the right here.
Whoa.
He's the larger one from the 80s.
You got the set.
Yeah, I got the set of them. And then we actually have Harry and the Hendersons up there, which is pretty great. So we do have a Virtual Boy from Blockbuster up here. Some of those GameCube boxes are pretty neat stuff. But as far as trade-ins go, I mean, we've had some amazing things come through.
What did you have to sacrifice to get here? Because those kinds of like that element of always being on.
Time and money. And
Yeah.
going back to our question earlier, a lot of people don't realize how much of our own money that we funneled into this business. Like, we didn't do like a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe for the arcade even.
Never done any loans.
Everything is all 100% self-funded. We've sunk all of our own money into this.
So as we make our way back to the video game section over here, I was curious to ask, before we turn the camera on, I asked you, okay, how much of, I'm in the mood to try to make a bulk deal here, but you were like, I don't know about that. So can you rehash the reasons why you're not super eager to make that kind of a deal?
Well, basically, I guess if we made a bulk deal on the 64 stuff, it's gone. I have no 64.
Right.
Because there's only like 20 games left on the shelf after Christmas. We do got a bunch of good ones on the showcase here.
Yeah, at the time of shooting this, it's late January, and you said you had a very good Christmas season.
Very great Christmas. And we just have I feel like our stock is down.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the selection's hurting right now.
So
it's
even
hard
if the
to,
offer was right, there's a cost associated with someone clearing out the shelves because
there is, because it actually hurts you in the end, because you almost need to create the illusion, if I had to say, that you have a full store, even if you're kind of, what do we always say? We say fake it till you make it.
Fake it, yeah.
Fake it till you make it kind of
Look
thing.
like you have the overstock, because people aren't going to think that you're worthy to come out
Yeah.
and see if you're not giving them something to look at.
Or it just makes it look like you're kind of on the verge of just going under in a way.
a little pop-up shop.
that perception value of just having your shelves filled is something that, like, as an online seller, I don't really ever think about.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
if someone walks in and you've got 4 NES games and they're an NES collector, they're probably not coming back.
That's right. Even the Switch games are running low.
Right.
It's like, I want to be the shop that has like 500 games on every system.
Exactly. I'm not going to twist y'all's arm for a deal today, but I appreciate you a ton having me out. I love seeing the success of the store. You guys are an inspiration, so thanks a bunch.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Folks, that does leave us about $50 short of our goal for the day. If you want to see what a very successful day of video game hunting looks like, check out this video right down here, and definitely check out Back to the Media if you're in the Virginia area.